What's up, guys? Welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to do a crypto market update. I noticed that I did a video about the 3 bar play on Bitcoin. I think a lot of people didn't see that, probably due to the keywords of Monero, Pirate Chain, all of that in the description. So I apologize if you missed that, but basically I was looking at this pattern here. We had a breakout, a resting bar, and essentially that 3 bar play was confirmed. We did get a breakout above this previous resistance here. And so that kind of switched the momentum on the crypto market here. I like to use Bitcoin as kind of a gauge of the overall market here. And if you look at what's going on with Bitcoin here, we had this twist in the Ichimoku cloud, started this downtrend here, but it looks like we're very close to getting a twist back to the upside. So that has yet to be confirmed, but this pattern is looking a little different. I do agree that we're more in a neutral pattern here. This thing could go either way, but we are at a place where we're really testing this support. So we had this breakout from the trend line, bounced up. Now we're right here, basically right where we started. So around maybe 41,500-ish. And I think that's the support that I'm looking at. If we can hold that, that would suggest we're going to get further upside. But there are some, I think, political risks and market risks that I'll discuss later in the video. But as far as Bitcoin, I'm thinking this is neutral at the moment. This could go either way, but the momentum has changed. I'm not so bearish. I think we could get support here and head towards the upside. To look at Bitcoin shorts, so finally I figured out how do we see the overall short position on the Bitcoin market. There are we're trending downwards on these shorts. So if you guys want to follow this, you can look at the BTC USD short and you can find this information. And I think this is really important to gauge where we're heading. So we do see reducing short interest, which would suggest we could be going further to the upside if this short interest continues downward. So to look at Monero, they have a sell rating here. I would tend to disagree with that. I think we're more in a neutral position. If you look at where we had previous support, that really acted almost perfectly as really an area of resistance here. But we've got some bottoming tails here, and we've really established a base. So again, this could go either way. We have to hold really maybe above around 165 here. And sometimes the market will like to, sneak down past what would be people's stop loss, flush everyone out, and then go higher. So you have to be a little bit cautious of a move like that. One last minute flush before going higher. But again, it looks like we're getting some bottoming tails there. I would be definitely happy to see us go higher. We do have, again, resistance around, I would say 185 is the resistance here. So man, if we can break above that, that would be looking really, really good for Monero. But the big story here is Pirate Chain. Man, I think I was almost calling this thing for dead, and I think probably a lot of other people too, which is when people basically give up, there's nobody else to sell, and then you get buyers coming in. So we had that move up to 16, came down, bounced, and basically rolled over here and have been trending down ever since. This is the first time, and we do have basically a twist here. This thing's a little overbought at the moment, but we do have a buy on the technical indicator here. And so if we can get up above $1.50, this thing could really moon. And you know, this is risky because we've already doubled from here. This is really crazy. So this is a tough one to play. I hope some of you guys got in down here near the lows. You can see the volume too. We had this volume spike and this pattern did fail, so that could happen again. But I think before we hadn't broken out of the trend line here. If you look back, we really have this trend line coming down, and definitely we have a break of that trend line here. So again, I think this will also be dependent on the overall crypto markets, so make sure watch those Bitcoin shorts, watch Bitcoin. But again, we have volume coming in here. So yeah, this one is pretty interesting here. Let me know what you guys think. I know probably it'll be unanimous. Everyone thinks it's going to the moon, and hey, that would be cool if it did. So Dero's finally turning around here. Broke out above this trend line, and I think this is really similar to Bitcoin, where we're coming down and really testing a support level here. I would say around, well, we're really at support here, so I agree this is neutral. We're at this previous, what was resistance is now support, and it looks like we could be getting this twist soon. So this one is interesting. So we'll have to see what happens here, but again, watch that level around 11 bucks here. And the overall crypto markets are key at this point. Haven. Yeah, I'm sorry if you guys, definitely I didn't personally get into this coin. In my opinion, it makes, in a way, more sense to just hold Monero. And I know a lot of people are in this, but yeah, this thing's really doing nothing here. We've got to sell. This thing just keeps grinding lower, and so until I see anything different here, I'm keeping my eyes on other coins more than Haven at the moment. Ghost is doing pretty well. If you look back here, this was the low around 23 cents. We came up, popped up here, came back down, but like I said, we really got support, so this trend is just continuing to grind higher. So I really like to see a pattern like this. We've got a market cap just under 6 million, so with that low of a market cap, this thing could really moon big time. And with the 27% proof of stake, I really like this one here, and it doesn't really necessarily follow the overall crypto markets. That's the other thing I like, is if Bitcoin flushes out, you may see some move, but it's not going to kill a small cap coin like Ghost, as it may kill probably much of the other crypto markets. One thing I think is worth keeping your eye on is gold at the moment. So gold is a strong buy. Gold is forming a pattern that is almost textbook cup and handle over like 10 years. So when you have perfect patterns like this, man, makes things easier to see what's going on. And we popped up here above basically this wedge pattern, this huge bullish candle here. And I think from what I've seen on Twitter, the sentiment is changing, especially with all of the geopolitical risks, Russia and all this inflation, and with the crypto markets generally going down over the last few months. And you know, that I think that definitely could change. It has been changing in the last week or so. But gold, definitely one to watch too. And it's, for me at least, a lot easier to sleep at night without, it doesn't have as major of a swing as the crypto markets. I like to trade cryptos, and keep some percentage of my net worth just to get out of fiat, but um, you know, it takes a certain kind of person to put their whole net worth in, and a lot of those people have done very well. But investing depends on your personality, so you have to be careful of that too. So one thing I wanted to mention, this was a pretty crazy chart I saw. So actually gold has done better than pretty much all of the equity markets. So this blue line is gold here. So this is since 2000. So over 20 years, more than 20 years, gold has outperformed all of the stock markets. So here's the NASDAQ and gold here. So this was pretty close, but it's tanked recently, and rightfully so. It's hugely overvalued. Then we have the Dow Jones and S&P 500 way down here. So rather than doing all this trading, dollar cost averaging, you could have just bought gold and outperformed the overall markets, including the tech stocks, which is pretty crazy to think about, over the last 20 years. So definitely in an environment like this where valuations are hard to justify, gold seems pretty reasonable here, at least for me. Silver as well. Silver is kind of following gold here. Not as extreme of a pattern. It doesn't have that huge bullish engulfing candle, but it's got a buy rating. This is something I'm watching as well. Another thing I'm watching, this pattern is just extremely crazy. Crude oil is just gone through the roof, and I think honestly this is intentional. If you look at the central planners, the Gates and the Schwabs of the world, Gates specifically talks about the carbon premium. So he was basically implying that what they want to do is make crude oil and carbon prohibitively expensive to use, and then subsidize like electric vehicles and all this type of thing in order to make the premium push people towards this type of technology that they're promoting. And I think they're doing a very good job here. This thing has gone nothing but up, and yeah. So yeah, it's unbelievable, and we've got to watch what's going on with Russia and all this, and really be careful here. So another thing I found interesting about the overall markets, the foreign investment in U.S. equities has normally peaked around the market cycle peak. So you can look back here. Every peak, the foreign investment has been at a peak here, and we've had some volatility here, and now we're at a point where the Fed is suggesting they say they're going to start tapering and quantitative tightening, all this. So here's an article by Stansberry Research, and they're saying they would like to raise rates to 1%. Still very low, but with an overextended economy, every percentage point can really hurt people. And so basically they're saying the CPI was at 7.5%. And they're talking about basically holding an emergency meeting next week, and they're saying it could be on Monday. So you have to watch what goes on in this meeting. If they do hike rates, this could affect cryptos, the whole market. But still, if they're raising rates quarter point, half a point, when inflation is 7.5%, this is going to be really meaningless. But anyway, just a quick update. It looks like things are changing. People are going back into cryptos. And so yeah, just watch the markets. Let me know what you think, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.